So this is the current state inside the car. There's all the bits. I'm not going to put it all together. I'm just going to put what I need to make it look tidy. Both seats, a little bit of the trim, and then dashboard and stuff like that on that side. Should be fine. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take too long because I don't have too long. Hi, I'm Tangles. This is my garage and this is my car. Well, good morning YouTube. Yesterday I ran sprints, edit switch, QR, and I forgot my camera mount. So no footage from in car at all. I'm yet to review the footage. I did give the camera to someone and said, see what you can get, you know, around the place, and I haven't had a look at what it is yet. I also did run a sort of telemetry, well not telemetry, a GPS device, and haven't really looked at that data very much yet. I did run on the sprint section 1.5 seconds faster than I ran at Jap Nats on the same tyres, so on the street tyres still. So it was a 1 minute 0.26 was the lap. It was a bit chaotic. I wish I did have the camera on board because, you know, I was bloody driving around slow cars and having people overtake me on the warm-up lap and all sorts of crazy stuff was happening. But the first session I missed out entirely because the car wasn't running properly. First thing, I lined up in the pits. Two things happened. First, I couldn't get on track because you got to have the window 3/4 of the way up, and the typical 33, the window switch failed, and I couldn't get the window to come up, so I put it over the side, and while I was sitting there idling, it just got rougher and rougher and rougher. I couldn't get the window up, so I peeled off to drive back through the car park area. If anyone knows QR, they'll know what it is. And the car's just spluttering, coughing and dying. I couldn't make any boost, I couldn't get any power. It was a misfire or a boost leak, because it's very sensitive to boost leaks. It runs really poorly with them. I figured it probably wasn't a boost leak, but it was the easiest thing to sort of troubleshoot. I had a bit of a play, I didn't fix it. I managed to limp it back into the pits and into my box, at which point I played with every boost line. Every line that got boost, I checked each ends and checked the length of them as best I could. I couldn't find any splits, tears, holes or anything. I tightened up all of the hose clamps. Every one of them was already tight, but you know, I put the spinner on every one of them and made sure. I unplugged the MAF, blew it out, put it back in, and it immediately idled a lot better. I took it for another squirt around the car park. It immediately made some power. I made boost, so it wasn't a boost leak at that time, at least. So I think ultimately it was a misfire. The other thing, you know, I played with all the wiring, the igniter up the back of the engine there. I plugged that in and unplugged it and checked all the wires. All the injectors, you know, had to play with all of those, unplugged, plugged them in, make sure the wires weren't broken. So maybe they are broken, maybe there's a broken wire in one of those, but when I fiddled with it, it fixed it temporarily. It was a little bit rough idling, and I rolled out into the second session about 5th in line. And on the warm-up lap, had people trying to overtake me, and sort of successfully did so. So on the first flying lap, I had 7 cars that were slower than me in front of me within 50 metres, so it was just chaos, and they're all trying to sort themselves out while I'm trying to drive around them. It was just a nightmare. So it's pity I didn't have the camera in the car because it was pretty exciting stuff. But, and I had to be very aggressive and forceful to push my way through it because they were not going to let anyone past. Don't know why, but I got by them all safely and ran, I don't know, 101 flat or something like that. I can't remember because that wasn't an important time. It was just, okay, the car works. And then the second section I went out and I ran fast times. I got to the front of the queue thanks to a bit of pre-queue organisation, and I got 2 flying laps before I caught lap traffic, and then I got a third flyer, and that third flyer was my fastest lap. I think it was the third flyer on that session. That was my fastest lap of all time on that layout, because I've not run the semis on that layout. I've only run the semis once. That was pretty good. I went back out in the next 2 sessions and ran relatively close times, but now was dealing with a little bit of understeer and a little bit of brake pinching on the front, which I thought was just me driving too hard and driving too fast. Yeah, braking too late, carrying too much mid-corner speed, and therefore introducing understeer that way. As it turned out though, after when I was packing up, I saw a puddle of oil under the car on the side, which is where the catch can vent is. It's down in behind here. And upon closer inspection, the guard is full of oil, the wheel is full of oil, the brakes are coated in oil. Everything in under that quarter is covered in oil. And I did have one big lock-up moment, and it was the front left that locked up, probably about a 30-metre lock-up. It was braking into the last corner before the straight, so off the second fastest or the second longest straight on that layout on the sprint. Yeah, so I figure I probably could have gone quicker. I'd like to have a look at the telemetry or the GPS thing and see what my ultimate fastest would be. It tells you that. I was dumping oil under my own front left tyre, I would assume, for the last 2 sessions that I ran, because that's when I started to have more issues with that. You know, the balance of the car was back to a bit understeering because the diff is now working. It's no worse than when I put the sway bars in, so I don't think it's a bad thing at this point, as in the balance is no worse. It's adjusted as aggressively for front end as it can be with the arms I've got, with the sway bars I got. The other option is I've still got the factory ones here somewhere, I think. I'm pretty sure I do. Is I could run the factory one in the front and then leave the adjustable one in the back and adjust it to maximum soft, see where that is balance wise for front rear stiffness, rigidity, especially if I put a cage in it, because that's going to stiffen everything again, so I might need to do that. It might be alright now, but it might not be okay with the cage, so I've got the flexibility there to change things around if needed. So the other thing I also did is at no point did I increase the wing angle. I left it at its semi-neutral position. There is a slight, it will be producing some downforce in that position where it is. It's probably about a 3 to 5 degree angle of attack, sort of 3 in the center and 5 on the ends where the 3D component takes effect. For now, however, I've got what appears to be blow-by, and that catch can was empty before Noosa, because I emptied it before Noosa. The number one suspect for blow-by is cracked ring lands or buggered rings. So what I need to do, you can see here, I don't know if you can see that far, I'm going to start it with this off and see if I'm getting excessive smoke or anything coming out there. That's step one. I've got to pull the catch can out, see if it's full, or if the blow-by is just actually blow-by and not, you know, it's if the baffling's not working in the catch can and it's just spraying the vapor out. There's a fair chunk of oil in there. I haven't actually checked the oil level. That'll be the next thing I do. Actually, I'll check the oil level. I'll put the check the catch can. I'll run it without the hose and see what that tells me. But then the next thing is a compression test. Check the compression is still good. Now, when I bought it from memory, I think it was 155, 155, 155, 155. No, 155, 55, 55. Like 54. 56 and then 53 on number 6. So within 2 psi across the lot, and only 1 psi variance in the last 3 in the back 3 cylinders. So it was in excellent and healthy condition at the time. So yeah, if it's broken, if it's a cracked ringland, or if it's low compression, I'll then have to do a leak down test to confirm. Or if either way, I'll do a leak down test, regardless of what the compression test result is, just so as I know what I'm dealing with. But if it is a fractured ringland, then it's a rebuild, so it might actually be something worthwhile to record at some point. You know, at that point the engine will come out. Well, hopefully it's not ringlands or rings, hopefully it's something else. Hopefully it's an easily fixable thing, but it's unlikely. It's most likely fucked. On the plus side, it was quick. On the negative side, 4 weeks away from Morgan Park. An excellent event which I ran last year, and they're running the full track version this year, which looks very cool. As far as the rest of the track is very fast and very good looking. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to shut this down. I don't know what I got from the camera work outside the car. I might do something with that, I'm not sure. At this point it's all in the air, and I'll see what I'm going to do when I do the stuff.